For this assignment, you're going to outline your essay for your rhetorical analysis of a commercial. As a reminder, if you click this essay one link, that'll take you to the essay rhetorical analysis essay topic page, which appears earlier in this module. So if you need additional instructions, all the full instructions for the essay, including a video going over the essay topic instructions, will be there. Below, you're told you'll find a template for completing a rhetorical analysis essay outline. And so for this outline, you're being asked to do a handful of things. First, it says for your topic, you're just going to include a link to the commercial. It says or picture of your ad here. For this semester, we're just doing commercials. You won't have a picture of an ad. So you're just going to give me the link to the commercial where you found it so that I can view your commercial to make sure you're on the right track. Then I'm asking you simply for your thesis statement. When you write your essay, you will write a full introductory paragraph. And you might feel like you need to do that for this, but all I want you to provide to me is your thesis. So I know exactly what you believe your thesis is. And then you are required 4 body paragraphs. So for each body paragraph, you're going to include a topic sentence and then at least 2 pieces of evidence. Per the rubric, every body paragraph must have at least 2 concrete examples. And these are going to be things that happen in the commercial that you're going to say, and this supports whatever my topic sentence says. Then you'll do that for body paragraph 2, 3, and 4. I've given you the space for body paragraph 5. If you don't need it, delete it. Just like I've given you the space for 3 pieces of evidence per body paragraph. If you don't need them, just delete the C. You're required an A and a B, but if you don't need C, delete it. You're required body paragraphs 1 through 4. If you don't need 5, delete it. And then you will write your full conclusion, really to get you thinking about writing a conclusion. Lots of times students really struggle with conclusions. So I'm going ahead and getting that out early on is a good way for me to give you some feedback. Your outline for your essay is the place you will get the most feedback from me before you submit your final draft, unless you schedule a conference with me. With rough drafts, you'll submit it, you'll get peer response, but generally I just double check that you kind of have all the parts in place, and then that you will do what you're supposed to, which is edit and whatnot for a final draft and make it better. But I don't really provide a whole lot of feedback on those. Your outline, however, I do provide a lot of feedback. I have provided you a sample outline, so let's take a quick look at that here. I want to be clear. This is an outline. It's the very first iteration of what's going to happen in the paper that occurs. This outline, I would not encourage you to follow verbatim because there are errors on this outline. This is student work. I have not altered the student work. But I'll point out a couple of the things where maybe it could have been done better and places where things have been done well. First, the student provided a link to their ad from the 2022 Super Bowl. Then they've given their thesis. It's just a 1-sentence thesis. For this paper, your thesis should not be more than 1 sentence. And we can see this one says, Avocados from America designed their advertisement to rhetorically appeal to a specific audience and persuade them to buy their avocados. This is a great preliminary thesis, but if I were writing an essay about this, I would want to modify this thesis to make a clear position. Was it effective? And it says that it is to persuade them, but it doesn't come right out and say it. It's also pretty vague. We don't know who the specific audience is. You would want to make that clear. You would want to, it talks about rhetorically appeals, but I'd probably want to talk about the rhetorical appeals. Those are all minor tweaks that would make this thesis better. Then we're going to see the topic sentences. So topic sentence 1 for paragraph 1 says, to begin in the creation of their ad, Avocados from Mexico had to understand the viewpoint of their main audience. So this is a good preliminary topic sentence, but it's not specific enough. They're doing a great job in that they are, indicating that they're going to write about audience. But I would want it to go ahead and be revealed who the audience is. Be specific enough that it shows you actually know what you're writing about. This is too generic. But again, for an outline, that's okay. But the harder you work on your outline, the easier your essay writing will go. So if you can correct these things, please do. Then the student has provided different examples from the ad to indicate where in the ad the examples come from. So it says family drove 3 months in an ox cart with kids just to see the game. Then she provides timestamps. This is how you cite, or how you will cite, your video with a timestamp. And a little bit later on, in a future assignment, you will get a video going over a sample essay, and I'll talk about this again. But timestamps are the key. I would go ahead and put those on in my outline so that you already have that information for when you write your essay. Again, the harder you work on your outline, the easier the rest of the process will be. So she does this for all 3 pieces of information. The first part is just, this is something that happens. She gives us the second range, 22 seconds to 27 seconds. Her later examples for this paragraph are quotes that are words that are used specifically. And again, she's giving us those second ranges. So this kind of shows you how to do that in either case. Then she goes into her second body paragraph. Once their key audience was located, avocados from Mexico gave similar personality and emotions to their advertisement characters in order to relate with their audience. So here she talks about emotion, so we understand that this is going to be pathos. You can use words that make it clear that you're talking about pathos. You can say pathos, or you can say something like emotions. Either way, that's viable. It just needs to be clear which one you're talking about. Again, she talks about relating with their audience. I would go more specific here, but that's something you can address as you go forward. So here she gives a couple of examples of things that you see in the ad with those timestamps. And then other times she has a quote with the timestamp, but you can see in either case how this should look. Then sentence 3, towards the end of the advertisement, avocados from Mexico use reasoning to persuade their viewers that the avocados are delicious and the life of the party. Reasoning, that's going to be logic, that's pathos. So we understand she's talking about pathos here. She has her examples. Then she says, finally, avocados from Mexico include credibility throughout their ad. And then she gives us examples of how they build their credibility. I wouldn't use the phrasing include credibility. I would say something like build credibility or establish credibility. Or you could even go as far as to say avocados from Mexico works to make the audience think positively about them. We also would understand that would be credibility. You could, again, use the word ethos. That would be fine. It just needs to be clear which rhetorical appeal you're talking about when. And it's important that you must talk about who the audience is and all 4 appeals very clearly in your essay. This is, again, probably the easiest and best way to organize your essay. And then she didn't need the 5th body paragraph. She didn't need evidence C. She left them there. You can delete them out. Either way is fine. And then she provided a conclusion. This was not necessarily the conclusion she used at the end of her paper. Maybe it is, but there's some changes that would have been made traditionally as you go through that multi-stage writing process. All right, let me go back to the assignment. So again, this will be the assignment that you will complete, kind of your first one for your essay 1. And again, use your time wisely here. Really put effort into your outline because it will make so much easier the rest of the writing process. And it will make the feedback that I provide you so much more valuable because I'll be able to say, yes, you're exactly where you need to be, or nope, we're all off on the wrong track. Let's get this right. So I really look forward to seeing what you guys do here. And if you have questions, let me know.